Hi, this is Mesita Guel, Nick Williford, and Manos Berlakis, presenting case 204 for the Manual of Percutaneous Coronary Interventions. This is a case of PCI of a tortuous and calcified LED lesion. The patient was an elderly gentleman who had multiple previous PCIs, as well as HFrEF with an ejection fraction of 30 to 35%, and presented with severe angina despite maximal tolerated medical therapy. The diagnostic angiogram showed significant left main disease, with severe disease in the mid-LAD that was heavily calcified, high tortuosity, significant lesions. There's a circumflex CTO, and there's a moderate lesion on the right coronary artery ostium. The culprit was felt to be the left main and the LAD. And initially, the patient was turned down for PCI due to significant risk, but because the symptoms were very severe and his quality of life was very poor, he was sent again for complex percutaneous coronary intervention. Several questions about this PCI. The first one is how to wire this vessel with severe tortuosity and calcification. The plan was to use a microcatheter and a polymer jacketed wire if needed. In terms of advanced preparation techniques, there were concerns about using atherectomy here because of the significant tortuosity and the risk of perforation. And intravascular lithotripsy is a great option, but it was unclear whether it would deliver through this bench. Because of the low ejection fraction, and since this was a major vessel for the patient, we decided to use hemodynamic support with an Impella CP device. We used a single access technique and then placed a 7 French sheath through the Impella sheath, engaged the left main with an EBU 375. And then as planned, we use a turnpike LP and various guide wires, but it was very hard to get through this bend. We can see that the microcatheter is almost coming out of plane of the vessel, so could not get through these bends with a polymer jacketed wire and a single lumen microcatheter. Multiple ways for getting through tortuosity. One is to use different bends, use an angulated microcatheter, use the reversed wire technique, or use a deflection balloon. In this particular case, we did use the Supercross 120 along with the Sion black guide wire. And what happened is the wire knuckled and went through the tortuosity but into the diagonal branch and not into the LAD, which is okay. So what we did is advanced a microcatheter into the diagonal and exchanged this wire for a workhorse wire. The plan was to use a dual lumen microcatheter, a Sasuke, to be able to advance a wire into the LAD, but unfortunately, the microcatheter could not be delivered because of the calcium and the tortuosity. So we predilated with a small balloon, and then after doing that, we were able to advance the Sasuke, but had difficulty getting the wire into the LAD. We can already see there is compromise of the flow going towards the LAD. We did a two-operator technique, one operator moving the Sasuke and the other manipulating the Sion black, and by doing this, we were able to advance the Sion black down the LAD. But unfortunately, we were not able to get the turnpike LP to go to the LAD because of the calcium and the tortuosity. So we have the situation of a balloon and microcatheter uncrossable lesion. We used extra support with a guide liner coast, and then used a small balloon, 1.0 millimeter sapphire balloon. And after doing that, we were able to cross, predilate, and then advance the microcatheter and switch the Sion black for a workhorse wire. Unfortunately, this was just the beginning of the problems, because after doing this exchange, we were unable to advance anything else, including several balloons, sapphire, as well as Takeru balloons, a Corsair XS microcatheter, a Fine Cross M3 microcatheter, a Micro RX, which is a rapid exchange microcatheter, despite using the support with a guide liner and despite using the side branch Encon technique. We also did intravascular lithotripsy as far as we could with an IVL balloon in the LAD, but the balloon ruptured after 30 pulses. So what to do next? And during all this, the patient is having some intermittent chest discomfort. The Impella is keeping a good blood pressure, but we do have extensive areas of dissection in both the LAD as well as extending a little bit into the diagonal. So this is a challenging situation because there was concern if we leave this as is, are we going to have acute vessel closure? We eventually did the same attempts, but got fresh balloons, and we used a lot of equipment. We used a 2.0 Takeru and a 1.5 Takeru, and eventually were able to cross through this S-shaped tortuosity with the support of the guideliner coast, and then pre-dilated with bigger balloons. After doing that, we were able to advance with the help of the guide extension, a 275 by 48 millimeter drug-eluting stents, jailing the diagonal branch, which improved the flow to the LAD, but unfortunately we still have some dissection behind the recently placed stents. The good news are we still have good flow into the diagonal branch. Our initial plan was to rewire the diagonal using the dual lumen microcatheter and then do some kissing balloon inflations, but the wire kept on entering probably in the dissection plane. So we decided to abandon those attempts. And then we tried to remove the jailed wire before placing an additional stent. But the problem is that the wire was actually stuck, would not come back despite pulling very hard. So what to do? The key is not to pull very hard. So we used a 1.0 millimeter Sapphire balloon. It went as far down as possible, and after using this, we were able to pull the jailed guide wire back into the guide, which was a big relief. And I guess the lesson here is that the risk of wire entrapment goes up when we jail wires within heavily calcified and tortuous vessels. After doing that, we placed an additional drug-eluting stent and obtained a decent result. There's still some dissection, but this is behind the stent stretch. And we did intravascular ultrasound that demonstrated diffusely diseased and heavily calcific vessel. But there was a decent expansion. It's not perfect, but perfection is not the goal here. We want to minimize the risk of additional complications, such as having a dissection or a perforation. And the patient did have a good recovery with relief of the angina. Multiple lessons from this case. The first one is that the combination of calcium and tortuosity can make everything more difficult, including placement of a guide wire, as well as delivering everything from balloons to stents to microcatheter. The second one is for these complex cases, one should start with a microcatheter and potentially a guide extension to help get through this tortuosity and get through. Polymer jacketed wires can be very useful. And in this case, the wire went into the side branch, and then we used the dual lumen microcatheter to wire into the LAD. We did have a lot of difficulty delivering equipment through these tortuous and calcified lesions. It took many, many balloons, 1.0 Sapphire, 1.5 and 2.0 Takeru, along with the guide extension and multiple microcatheters, until we were eventually able to modify the lesion enough to be able to deliver stents. We were planning to do a atherectomy at several points during the procedure, but we just could not get the microcatheter to go through to be able to place a atherectomy wire. And finally, if a guide wire gets jailed, the key is to not pull hard. Instead, one takes a small balloon or a small microcatheter, go as close to or as distal to the wire as possible, and then pull. And by doing that, we were able to successfully remove the jailed guide wire. Thank you.